Hello and welcome to Two Therapists and a Microphone. I am Dr. Harrison Davis.
And I'm Dr. Asha Dickerson.
Two Therapists and a Microphone is a show about mental health, relationships, and social issues that personally affect you. We broadcast live every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. on the Our Black Media Network.
Harrison and I are two licensed psychotherapists with decades of clinical experience, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear about the situations and dilemmas that you're going through. So please send us your questions by visiting www.twotherapist.com and click on Ask Two Therapists at the top of the page.
Gotcha. So in the past, we've been answering some of the questions from the audience.
We had some good ones the last couple
we did. And, it's just a little update on one of them. Remember the one I did, I think a month ago, about the young lady who hooked up with her ex-boyfriend at the homecoming game?
Right. And then she was pregnant and she found out.
So I got another email from a guy who is claiming that he watched the show. He is the fiance.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I haven't responded because I didn't know what to do, but I'll see what I can do with that. But today we have an exciting show for you guys. It's a topic that is very popular out there, and I suggested it to Dr. Asha, and that's on narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
As I listen to a lot of podcasts. Do you, Asha?
I listen to a few. I have a couple of favorites.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I like to listen to a lot, and this particular topic is very popular. It's a lot of people out there who are not therapists are talking about people who are narcissistic. They're giving some advice, and then I was a little bit confused about what they were saying. Some of it makes sense, some of it didn't. So that's when I asked you, do we want to talk about this topic so we can clear the air?
Yeah, because it feels like saying someone is narcissistic is very popular now.
Yes.
When you feel like someone is cocky or they hurt your
Selfish.
feelings
Yep.
or they set boundaries, then you think that they're being narcissistic. And I know that that's not what most people say is not what I see when I look in the DSM for narcissistic personality disorder. But also, I do not work with people who have narcissistic personality disorder.
I must also admit, I have never diagnosed anyone with narcissistic personality disorder, but a lot of people are throwing that word around. I've gotten into a couple of arguments with some clients who thought their husbands or boyfriends had the disorder. And when I went through the DSM criteria and realized, no, they really don't, they were insisting that they are narcissistic. So, this is something that's like a little catchphrase today. You're a jerk, you're selfish, you must be a narcissist.
Right. Just being mean to me, you're so narcissistic. So we decided to bring someone on here who does work with that population and who has diagnosed people with narcissistic personality disorder. And that is Stephanie Bright. Stephanie Bright received her Bachelor's of Arts degree from Brown University in Business Economics and worked in corporate banking and financial services in sales, management, and training. But after over a decade of working within the corporate environment, she decided to follow her passion for mentoring and coaching others and returned to graduate school, receiving her master's degree in clinical mental health counseling from Argosy University. Now, she has extensive experience working on certification in personality disorders, certification in clinical trauma, certified clinical trauma professional, and certification in clinical anxiety treatment professional. I hope I said that right. I feel like I jacked that all up. But she also has brain spotting training. Stephanie is currently in private practice using her clinical teaching and coaching skills to provide individual, group, family, and couples counseling, as well as conducting multifamily groups to help support people and clients during their recovery journey. She specializes in eating disorders, anxiety, depression, ADHD, OCD, trauma, personality disorders, couples and marital work, family and parenting issues, and young adult issues. She uses a unified treatment protocol, including cognitive behavioral therapy. You all might not know what all this is, but I do suggest that you Google it. Dialectical behavioral therapy, attachment theory, integrated family systems, and psychodynamic theory. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hey, Dr. D. Hey, Dr. Harrison. How are you?
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. That's a lot of pathology you deal with.
Okay.
It's, you know what? I started out in eating disorders, and there is a lot of pathology, and it's really complex. And you get the family system that just kind of makes one big mess out of it, and you end up with a lot of personality disorders in there as well. So I like messes. I like cleaning them up.
That's good. It takes a special person. So, the first question that I want to ask you is for our listeners, what is your definition of narcissistic personality disorder?
Please keep it simple for the people who are reading the magazines.
Right.
So, okay, so the narcissistic personality disorder is not necessarily narcissism. All people with NPD will be narcissists, but not all narcissists have NPD.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So
I
the
didn't
the DSM has 9 criteria that are listed, and you cannot diagnose somebody for being a jerk. You can't.
Yeah.
You know, there are selfish people out in the world, and just because they're selfish or they don't really want to have any empathy for you, or they just want their way half the time,
Yeah.
it does not mean that they are a narcissist. It means they're a jerk.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the problem is most narcissists don't think they have a problem, so they are not coming in to get diagnosed. And NPD just kind of sits there like, why do we have it most of the time? Because they're not the ones with the issue. The people that are the ones that are getting hurt by narcissistic personality disorder are the victims.
Yeah.
Not the narcissists. The narcissists are sitting in CEO spots. They are sitting in lawyer spots. They are sitting in
presidential spots.
I heard
you
that
said it.
one
I
too.
didn't say it. I was stumbling around trying not to say it, but they are. And you've got multiple types of narcissists, but those people don't think they have an issue, and so it's not like anxiety disorder or major depression disorder where it's affecting their life, and they're like, "Oh, I got to get help." They don't.
So what are some of the essential features of NPD?
So NPD, people who have a long pattern of grandiosity, this feeling of I am better than everyone else. Okay. It may not show up as some of our presidential people. It may show up under kind of the sly victim-y way, but it's this theory of grandiosity. I deserve all of this. I am arrogant, very superficial relationships. It's about what I drive. It's about what I look like. It's about
That's
who
half
I hang
of
around.
Atlanta, but go ahead.
I was about to say, is that confidence? Can that be confidence?
But go ahead, then we're going to talk about how it becomes pathological.
Exactly. And it starts from childhood. So I'll back up to that in a second. Somebody that can't tolerate disappointment. They can't tolerate this imperfection around them, and so you'll see a lot of temper tantrums and rages over little things.
Yeah.
Dismissiveness, controlling. They have to manage everything because at the core of a narcissist, it's insecurity. And when you go back to typically what happens in their upbringing is their parents have been the ones that have put this golden child up, and they can do everything right on the court or in the classroom, or they are the best and the brightest, but at home when this child needs to talk about something or has some feelings, parents not there. So they are over sensitized to one thing and under sensitized to another, and their core doesn't get developed, so they don't know how to attach to people properly. They don't have that ability. So you'll find a lot of narcissists that are NPD with a disorder that are attaching themselves to people that they want to kind of suck those good qualities that they don't have. Your empaths, your people that are really sensitive and kind and all that, they gravitate to them because they don't have that and they want it, until they realize they really can't ever get it, and they start finding things wrong with that person and then dismiss them, which is a whole other process.
So my first question I want to find out, so what's the difference between a spoiled, self-centered adult who throws adult temper tantrums? I don't think any of us like it. I don't think we're encouraging that. But what's the difference between that and having narcissistic personality disorder?
Narcissistic personality disorder is when it is now affecting their life. They're losing their marriages, their jobs. They are now at a point where they're feeling like they need help. It just doesn't happen often, which is why I say you'll get 1 to 2% of the population that can be classified as NPD,
Okay.
because most of them are riding high. Life is good. They're killing it out there, because as a society we reward the success, and we reward the selfies and the arrogance at this
Mhm.
point, because that's kind of where we've developed. So you've got a lot of narcissists, or people that have a lot of narcissistic characteristics, but they are not necessarily diagnosable,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. So the thing that I was struggling with, as I mentioned earlier, discussing it with a couple of clients in the past, and I was just really confused by it. They were just so determined, adamant that these other individuals are narcissistic. They sound like selfish jerks.
Yeah.
However, what I'm
Mhm.
hearing from you is that some of that has to do a lot with their personality and how they're relating to other people.
Yep.
And I'm getting the impression, I did a little research today, that they can't turn it off.
No.
So it's something that is interfering with every relationship.
Every aspect of their life. So you might find that person that's, say, middle management, and they're climbing up that ladder, and they might treat the people beneath them poorly because they can't give them anything. But the people above, they're like, oh, I will treat you with kindness and elevate you. They are always looking for someone to give them supply. They need that validation because they
Mm.
can't do that for themselves.
So they're like a
So
succubus. They're just
y-
suck.
they're vampires, suck the life out of you.
I hear that. I hear that. So how do they do that? I understand you mentioned that they don't have some of those desirable qualities that other people
Right.
might have.
So how do they even attract the kind
Mm.
empath?
Yeah.
Like if they're that, is it a game, a show, or is theater?
Well, think about it. If I know that I have to present a certain way in order to get what I want, and I am all about what I want, right?
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I see this girl, I see this guy, which whatever it is, I am going to present the best possible me. I am going to love bomb you. I'm going to give you the 100 roses. I'm going to take you, wine you, dine you. I'm going to give you everything because I want
Overwhelm
you
you
to
with love.
overwhelm you with love, and just I am your everything. Everything you ever dreamed of, that's what I'm going to be if I'm a narcissist,
Okay.
right?
But
The
what
problem is
It's like,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
the problem is that person that is falling for this narcissist, that person is just elevated. They are on a pedestal. They can do no wrong. As time goes on, and some people will say 8 to 12 weeks. From my own experience, it was a bit longer than that. I would probably say 6, 7 months. That suddenly you're no longer so perfect, and you are falling down off that pedestal. So the narcissist is like, oh, you're not giving me the supply I need. For instance, I have a cup, and right now I'm loving this cup. This cup has some great tea in it. I'm all about it. In about 10 minutes, I could care less about this cup, so I can easily put that cup away and not think about it. But if the cup is the victim, if the cup is the person that fell in love with me, the cup is like, but pay attention to me, pay attention to me. Why are you like
Mhm.
putting me down? And I've already looked at another cup over here because I like that cup. That cup makes me shine, makes me feel good. You've seen some parts of me. This cup over here has seen some parts that they didn't like, and now you're questioning me, or you've got some issues, or you don't sparkle as brightly. So as a narcissist, I can't deal with that. You don't
Mm.
fit my bill anymore, so you got to go.
so that
So
makes
that's
me wonder. Would it be better, or is it possible that one narcissist could attract another narcissist, and they just be a power couple?
I
Do
was
you
thinking the
remember
same
that
thing.
case? Dr. Dickerson knows this case I've
I
had
do,
for
I do.
3
So when two narcissists get together, what happens?
I want to know.
beginning. It's great because I'm building you up. You make me look good. I make you look good. It's not about how you make me feel. It's about how you make me look.
Okay.
Oh,
Different than a normal relationship. I
okay.
need you to make me look good. The problem is when it's not so shiny anymore, or there's an issue, you have war. because neither one of them has the core that and the empathy and compassion and normal things that you want in a relationship. You want you care about what a person feels. You want your partner to be happy. You want just the best for them. If a narcissist is in that relationship, I want the best for me. I'm not really concerned about you. You don't make me feel good. You don't make me look good. So now I'm angry.
Mm.
And if you get two people like that, it is war. And if you add a little, antisocial personality disorder in one of them, maybe two, then you've got messy divorces, custody battles that continue on and on and on. And just, it's like, who can tear the other one apart as deeply as possible? Because
So what
again,
happened? No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's that old African proverb about when two elephants fight, what gets hurt? The ground.
Mm.
It's not the elephants.
I haven't heard that proverb, so I was like, tell
I
me
haven't
more
either,
about
but I
it.
like
But
it.
I like that one.
It is. And I tell my couples, and this one in particular, Dr. Dickerson, I was like, the ground is your children.
Mm.
The ground is their future.
Ooh.
But they're so busy trying to hurt each other that they don't care. So it never goes well with two narcissists.
So what happens when a narcissist is with an empath? That's the focus I have seen. And what I'm hearing is that this incredibly selfish person who's only in the relationship so that they can feel good, so that they can get the admiration that they want, and they overwhelm the person with a lot of love, But what happens then is particularly with the empath, does like another person show up? And an empath is like realizing that's not who they are.
What happens a lot of time, because you got to remember, you've got this love bombing stage where somebody's heart is now involved, and they're trying to get that love back and that good feeling that they had in the beginning, right? So the empath keeps trying to do the right thing. If I dress well enough, if I get the right job, if I'm thin enough,
They
if I
blame
give them,
themselves.
yes,
They feel like they
because
need to be better, which I bet some people would think is a strength. You make me want to be better.
yes, and they get caught up in that, and then the devaluing narcissist on this side is like, no, well, you need to do this because they're controlling. So I want you to do this, and I want you to have that, and you have a problem? No, that's not okay. I don't care that your parent just died or that you're sick and we've got a child that needs you. I got to go to work. I got to do what I got to do. I don't care. And that empath is just sitting here trying to figure it out because it's confusing. It's, one moment you were on a pedestal and you were the best thing since sliced bread, and now you are getting treated like dirt.
Yeah,
And if you start to pull away, the narcissist doesn't like to be left. They don't like to be abandoned because, again, you've got that insecurity, that core sense of self is not there.
So what do they do?
You can't leave me. So I'm either going to rage or I'm going to hoover you. And hoovering goes back to, the vacuum cleaners with the Hoover vacuums.
When you said hoovering, I was like a vacuum cleaner? Okay. So.
Like a vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
So then they're like, oh, wait, no, I can't have this person leave me because that's my supply. Even though I'm devaluing them.
Yeah.
They can't leave me. So now I do the sweet thing. I take them out on the great date. Let's go on a vacation. I do the nice thing. So then the empath or the victim is like, well, maybe, see, I did this one thing and I got him to pay attention to me. So maybe if I keep doing that, he'll keep paying attention and we can have that love back. And then as soon as the narcissist sees that, okay, I got him, you're hooked back to devaluation stage. So the empath or the victim is always living in the state of confusion. Like, does he love me? Does he not love me? What do? I don't know how to make this right. I keep trying, and it must be me because everybody else looks at this person like they're amazing.
So why does the empath stay there? Because it sounds like a lot of abuse.
It sounds like though that their behavior is positively reinforced, maybe when the vacation.
We do. We enable the empath is enabling, true. And why do they stay? Because they're still, if their heart's involved, which typically is, they're looking for that good part, that good, love thing that happened in the beginning. but it's just not coming, or they'll get pieces of it and they're still trying to figure out, like, how do I do this? Because, typically narcissists are men. Not always.
I'm
Not
in
all.
agreement with that,
Not
but
all.
probably
Not
most.
all.
I have some women.
I just want to
95%.
add a footnote.
I am clarifying, Dr. Harrison. I am. There are women too. I've had moms that are definitely narcissistic.
Yeah.
But when you've got a woman's heart involved and they're trying, and we typically think it must be us. There's something wrong with us. I'm not good enough. You're folks that have come from a trauma background. I'm never good enough. I have to do more and more and more to earn, because I don't feel worthy by myself. So it's great attraction. I'm trying to earn and he's devaluing. And then we get caught up in this cycle that is literally, as Dr. D said, sucking the life out of you.
Mm-hmm.
But at a certain point, you see a lot of these women that don't feel like they can leave. They don't feel strong enough to leave. They may not be in control of the finances. They may be told because of religion that you can't go. They may have children, and you've got this whole, picture of, this is what my life was supposed to be. And I had this picture in my head. I can't let my picture go. That's my dream. So you keep trying to make it work, but it's never going to work.
So my next question is, as a single woman, or any single women or men who want to avoid getting into a committed relationship with someone who is narcissistic, what are our red flags? Because I don't think 100 dozen roses would be a red flag to me. But now I'm thinking maybe it should be. If he buys me a Louis Vuitton bag, he might be narcissistic.
Because I'm wondering, are there any red flags if they're doing a lot of love bombing and overwhelming the person with love? I'm assuming a lot of people like that.
Think about that, though. If somebody is so zealous about giving you all this love so upfront, and you don't know them, and they're moving so fast.
Oh, I see.
I know. my one of
the expedited relationships.
Yeah, because I got to get you fast. If I don't get you fast, you're going to see me, and if you see me, you might leave me.
You might catch on.
You might catch on. So I've got an example of one that married in 7 months.
Ooh.
At home, gotta get him in, gotta lock it in. Because again, if you take time and you see how people's relationships are with other people, see how they interact with their family. Are they the golden boy? Are they the ones that are actually caring? Go through something difficult and see if that person shows up. See if that person can be there when times are tough. Or are you just, if you're not supplying the need, are they going off to somebody else?
So you got to look out for those red signs about how committed and loyal they are to you. Now, 7 months is mighty quick to get married for anybody out there. But I was curious about that because it's a little strange, if the narcissist is getting what they want from the victim, the term you use, why would they mess it up? Why would they sabotage it? That's the part I'm confused about. You have this person who's going to give you everything that you want, and it looks like they don't question it. But then why would you devalue them?
Because again, my cup doesn't look so pretty anymore. I now see flaws. I've had them on a pedestal, and it was golden. But now I see them as a human, and they're not perfect. So if you're not perfect, you don't belong in my world. That grandiosity comes into play.
Oh, that's
I deserve perfect. And you are now human, and I can do better.
Oh, so they're really not gonna be happy with anyone.
No. That's why you see them get married over and over and over again.
Really? Is that a sign? Getting married over and over and over again? Like maybe 3 marriages before
3,
age
4.
38?
Or let's
like you somebody.
I think we might know some people, don't we, Dr. Dixon?
Yeah, I think so.
I might know someone too.
I think I might know somebody.
Yeah. And the funny thing about narcissists is they're always going to have their supply. So they're not going to leave the one that they have until they have something lined up.
I see.
They
that
can't
sounds about
be,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine told my mother he could never be alone. And then I figured out, I was like, you really can't. because you go from relationship to relationship to relationship, and they cross over paths. And what your narcissists are never loyal. So don't look for actual commitment, because again, when they start devaluing, they're like, well, where else can I get supply? Oh, I can get it at the strip club. I can get it from my assistant. I can get it
I
over
was just about
here.
to say that my secretary, whatever
Yeah,
little young intern I have coming in, somebody I meet at
exactly.
a lounge when I
Pop
call
in somebody
myself doing the
DM.
business.
Right.
I've heard it
So,
all.
yep. And there's just no capacity to actually have a good, solid relationship with compassion and growth and want to,
So they
grow
can't
together. All these,
love.
no, they love according to what they know is love. Because again, remember where they come from. So love, when we think about love, like if I think about my kids, I
Mhm.
love my kids to the end of the moon and back.
Mhm.
They can do things wrong. They do all the time. I got 3 girls, but there is nothing that will diminish my love for them. They
Gotcha. It's
are,
unconditional.
it's unconditional. But a narcissist is going to be like it, and it shows up with my children. Well, you're not going to the school I want you to go to. I'm going to cut you off. You didn't do what I wanted you to do. You have an opinion that's different than mine. You contradicted me. You criticized me. I can't deal with you.
And they do what?
They go have children with somebody else, start the next family.
Yeah.
Uh, that
It's
is
because,
so unhealthy.
yeah, they're not supplying. If your child, even your children, are not supplying that validation you need, that you are an amazing dad or an amazing mom, then you don't have a place for them. So
Wow.
you can't. It's sick, and it is sad. I'm trying to feel more compassion for my narcissist. I'm trying to dig deep,
I
but
don't
it
think
is
that's
really.
necessary. But yeah.
Because they're living these lives that are so empty, and they don't have a sense of their own identity. They can't regulate themselves. They can't regulate emotions. They don't know how to connect and attach in a healthy way.
Mm.
And at a certain point, you get old. That game of running with the next young chick or the
Yeah.
next this, it's going to fall short.
Because it sounds like a miserable lifestyle, never being content in love or
Exactly.
never having a really healthy attachment with anyone who you can rely on and they can rely on you, because you're all
Exactly.
looking and then destroying people, who are in your path.
Completely.
That's what it looks like.
And you're destroying lives. You're destroying people's dreams. You're destroying your children. It's just like, I heard it as a locust that just comes through and just takes over everything, and then they move on, because again, that cup doesn't mean much.
Wow. But that
It's
cup is a
not serving
person.
me. That
Mhm.
cup is a person, or that cup
Who,
is people.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, and you mentioned love again. It goes back to, it needs to love means I feel good in the moment. So when a narcissist says I love you, they do in that moment. They love how they feel. They love how you make them feel. They love this environment. They're on this great date. They're on
But it's
vacation. It's awesome.
temporary.
Yes, it is
Mm.
dependent on how you're making me feel, not the fact that I love you for who you are. It's for I love me in this situation. I love this experience, but I don't really love you. I just won't say that. And so your victim is like, "Oh, but they said they loved me. Oh, but
Gotcha.
they, yeah." But the
Although,
definition of love, that's one of those questions, ask early on. What does love actually mean to you? Tell me what it's been like when you've been in love. How long did that last? Ask the tough questions and see if you can get a glimpse into, how they dealt with long relationships.
gotcha.
Thank you,
Because it,
Stephanie.
Mhm.
you're
So
welcome.
we're about to run out of time. If someone is maybe in a relationship with a narcissist and they want to get out and need your help, tell us how they can get in contact with you.
I am at Numa Counseling, so you can pull me up. My website is NUMA Counseling at Gmail, or at .com. You can reach me at 470-209-4814. My office is actually at Park Air Consultants in East Cobb. So we are an umbrella under there with lots of different specialties in here. So that is
All
where I am.
right. Well,
Most of
thank
the
you,
time.
Stephanie, for coming on the show. I know I learned a lot, and hoping that you take care of you too with all that pathology that you see with some of your clients. I don't know if I can handle all of that, but today was a
Kickboxing.
one. I'll try that too. So today has been a wonderful show. Thank you, Stephanie, for joining us for Two Therapists and a Microphone. I am Dr. Harrison Davis.
And I'm Dr. Asha Dickerson. We'll see
We
you
will
next
see
week.
you guys again next week. Take care.